Hi, I've decided to do some videos as well as writing because I've just gone so long without actual human interaction. It's just weird to not even be able to hear my own voice, but writing doesn't take the place of having actual conversations. And even though it's not live, hoping that doing some sort of video journaling will help me to process some of my feelings about what's going on. I'm going to try to make a habit of doing this for a little bit at the end of each day because that's when a lot of my feelings come up and I can't fall asleep because my brain is just going. I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that. So, actually, most of what I've been thinking about lately is not about coronavirus itself. Even though, that's what I had been worrying about initially because I was sick and I was scared about my health, especially about my mom's health. She's much more high risk than I am, and that was what I was been focusing on. Now that I'm no longer sick, I'm thinking more about the ways that society has been changing and continue to change, and how what's the world might be like when this is all over, or even for the next approximately year or two until we find a vaccine. We won't, I just want to clear things up and not have any of you freak out. We're not going to be in full 100% lockdown that entire time. You're not going to be stuck in your house 100% of the time for the next 2 years. What is anticipated by epidemiologists is that it's going to sort of come and go. There will be periods of peaks of the virus. We are currently in a peak, especially here in the United States of America, because Trump sucks. Anyway, no, that's not the only reason, but it is a reason. So there will be periods of peaks, and then cases will go down and it will be safe enough for some people to return to work, for some people maybe to return to school. It won't be 100% safe, but we will have periods of relative normalcy, and then there will be another peak with more cases and we'll have to go back to lockdown again. So it'll just sort of be in and out, periods of a few months of lockdown, a few months of living our lives as normal-ish, and then back and forth for the next couple of years until there's a vaccine. So, yeah, that should be fun. Anyway, the point is that I'm sort of just debating my future and my career goals. I am currently in grad school, for those who don't know, for early childhood special education, and the early childhood education industry has more or less disappeared at this point. So I'm just kind of freaking out. I am in the very fortunate position to not really have to worry about my finances, but I go absolutely insane if I do not have a source of fulfillment, and early childhood special education is what I think of as my calling. And I finally got my shit together literally 2 weeks before all of this happened. And it's great. That was the absolute worst time to get my shit together to actually be ready for a career and be ready to put my all into grad school and go out, get in internships and all of that. And now it's what the heck? Yeah, I mean, there are obviously the children of essential workers who still need care. There are still very limited childcare centers open, and but really only one or two per city. And I mean, we don't really know if there's immunity from coronavirus. I could still be at risk. I am high risk as a disabled person, so I don't even know if it's safe for me to start doing practicums again. In my program, you are supposed to be doing practicums in actual school settings every single semester as part of your homework. I'm literally the only one in my class who currently doesn't have a job that they're doing alongside the class, and it's you learn from your work and you bring it to the class and you discuss it. But I mean, it's very different for all of them as well, because a lot of them are not in early childhood. A lot of them are working with older school age kids, and they've had to transition to online learning, which is a whole different ballgame. It's the kids are a lot more independent, and the teacher's role is really more just to come up with the initial assignments, upload them onto the website, and to grade them. There isn't as much direct supervision, and it's an entirely different skill set to do online education. So there's a lot of, I mean, we've been basically every single one of my grad school classes, that's all we've been talking about since any of this happened, is the transition to online learning and how the entire field of education is drastically changing. We don't know how long that's going to last. We don't know if this is something that we just need to adapt to, if this is just the new normal that, you know, school age children are going to be learning through online education / homeschooling. I don't know where that leaves me as an early childhood educator, because very young kids don't need a formal education. It's really more taking care of their basic needs, feeding them, changing diapers, all of that. And very young kids are, for the most part, at home with their parents right now. Sometimes there's informal arrangements where there are more than one family that are passing the children back and forth between families and things like that, just informal arrangements popping up. It's not really like an industry per se right now, because most childcare centers have closed, aside from a handful of centers that remain open for the children of essential workers. So yeah, just kind of like freaking out about that. And yeah, I know that I'm technically supposed to be, I'll be in grad school for the next couple of years anyway, but it's like, yeah, I'm sure that this will leave long-term societal changes, even after everything is as safe as it can be and people return. Like, it's just hard to know how to prepare for a future that we don't even know what that future is going to be. I'm kind of getting upset about this now, sorry. And I just feel like I've spent my whole life preparing for a world that no longer exists. It is no longer going to exist, and I know that I'm not the only one who feels this way, and I don't want to be selfish and act like it's just my problem, because it's not. But I'm looking at not even knowing if I or any of my friends in the disability community will be alive in the next year. So how are we supposed to prepare for career or our future if we don't even know who's going to be here? But I have to keep going. I'm still in grad school. I can't, like, fail out. It's too late to get a withdrawal. It's too late. And I need something to do anyway, but I'm just having such a hard time motivating myself to focus, or nothing. None of it seems relevant. Like, I'm doing a mock IEP. Right now, the special education system doesn't exist. Like, their kids are getting curriculums through online education, but I don't want to be a classroom teacher. I want to provide services to children in the special education system, and they are not getting those services, which is a huge problem also for my friends who have children with special needs. It would have been a problem for me as a kid if this was happening. And just like, my calling, the thing that I've been focusing my entire life, preparing myself to do, does not exist. And that's a major problem for everybody. It's a problem for those kids. It's a problem for the parents. They cannot receive speech language pathology, occupational therapy, physical therapy, all these services that are for free through the special education system because of IDEA. And activists had to work long and hard to fight for the rights for kids to receive those services for free through the public education system. And now they're just cut loose and are not receiving special education services. And they're just stuck at home. I could rant about this for the next 3 hours, I swear to God. But this isn't just me being concerned about my future career or being uncertain, having an existential crisis of not knowing what my purpose is in the world when my industry just decided to suddenly disappear from the planet a month ago, but just worry about what the fuck is going to happen to all of these kids who need services. And people are at the moment too busy just making sure that people don't die, which is understandable, but long term, we need to think about what's going to happen to society if people are just staying home. Not all industries can be done remotely. Like, you can't change a diaper remotely. I'm sorry, no. What the fuck? No. Like, society has just come to a halt, and the only thing anyone is doing is treating people's healthcare, and not even all their healthcare needs. They're not treating chronic illness. They're not treating car crashes or broken bones. I had a friend who literally posted on Facebook asking if anyone knew home remedies for a broken bone. Like, this is not stuff that we should be doing on our own. Parents should not be left on their own to not have any help with dealing with their special needs children. And I don't think we're in a place yet to focus on that because we're still in this phase where we just need to make sure people don't die, and we're in crisis management. But long term, the thing that we need to do to make sure people stay alive is also the very thing that's going to like literally destroy society. And we need to create a new world. We need to create a new world that's better, that somehow can be done remotely over computers and telephones, even industries like direct care, direct services, education that absolutely never should be done remotely, but we're going to have to figure it out, and I have no idea how. And that is why I am talking to a video camera on my phone at 3:30 in the morning instead of going to sleep. Anyway, so that was my rant. Let me know what you think about it. Goodbye.